New this morning, Atlanta police are investigating the death of an infant. Atlanta News First reporter Bridget Spencer joins us live from the Atlanta Police Zone 1 precinct, and detectives were called out to several different scenes overnight, staying busy, including as they investigate what happened with the baby. Bridget.
That's right, Megan. It's really a sad, tragic situation. Now, police have been busy all night, all during the overnight hours, working several incidents, including the death of that 2-month-old. Right now, still as we speak, Atlanta police are looking into the death of that 2-month-old baby in Northwest Atlanta. We're told the child ended up dying at a nearby hospital, but detectives right now do suspect foul play in this case. We are still in touch with APD, and they are still trying to gather more information. We are going to learn more and pass that info to you. Meanwhile, also 3 people also shot in 2 different shootings overnight. The most recent one happening at the Rail Yard Suites complex on Ralph David Abernathy. Atlanta police say one man was actually shot in the neck, and he was taken to the hospital in critical condition. And then about 30 minutes before that, police say 2 people were shot in their legs while just walking home, and that was in a drive-by shooting, police suspect. Now, it happened on Joseph E. Boone Boulevard near Proctor Creek. Both victims were taken to the hospital. They, however, fortunately, they are expected to be okay. So certainly another weekend of gun violence, another investigation happening into the death of that 2-month-old baby. Again, they do suspect something suspicious here, some type of foul play. I am in touch with homicide detectives. As soon as we learn more, we're going to update you on the air and online. We're live in Atlanta. Bridget Spencer, Atlanta News First.
All right, Bridget, do keep us updated. Thank you.